focus of my research was on a non-coding RNA called AFU182 in a fungus called Aspergillus fumigatus. The biggest challenge was we started studying this non-coding RNA based off of previous research that had found that it responded to changes in oxygen levels. And so the hypothesis was that it was somehow regulating these, something having to do with adaptation to changing oxygen. And I worked on trying to identify when this non-coding RNA would respond to oxygen for at least a year. And we could not replicate the results, or we couldn't get it to differentially regulate anything at any point in response to oxygen. And so that was the biggest challenge. And then I would say that basically we have these lab meetings every Friday, and I would go and listen to other people's experiments, and there is this media, it's a cell wall perturbing media, and I was like, oh, it would be interesting to see how the strains that I generated would respond on this media. It's really easy experiments. I was just oh, it'd be fun. And so I just plated my fungus on these medias, and then realized that it was actually really sensitive on the media, and so kind of just by chance, we realized that it wasn't regulating oxygen response so much as regulating something in the cell wall. It was really exciting. I basically owe everything that I did to them because they taught me how to do everything. So I started working with them my sophomore summer, and I worked closely with Saurabh Dhingra. He's a postdoc in my lab, and he taught me literally everything. And I also worked with someone else in the lab, a PhD candidate named Arsa, and he also taught me how to do the cell wall perturbing tests. And it was just cool getting to work with them, and they taught me so much, and being able to go to the lab meetings was really helpful because that's how I even knew what a cell wall perturbing agent was. I learned a lot in the lab meetings, even though when I first started going to them, I had no idea what was going on, and I'd almost be falling asleep because it was so over my head that I just didn't even know what was going on. But I actually ended up learning a lot from them. And then working with my PI, Rob Cramer, was amazing. He helped me to a very high standard, but I attribute all of my success to that because I was always trying to reach the goals that he set for me. And he was also very helpful with kind of pointing me to where I should go. And he was the one who helped me come up with the hypothesis and even helped me find that this non-coding RNA might be interesting. And so I owe a lot to him as well. For the first 2 years, I wasn't reading that much, which in retrospect, I should have read more because you don't really know how much is out in the literature until you start looking. And then when I started writing my thesis, I was just writing the introduction, and I finally started doing research, journal research online, and I found so much. So this fungus, Aspergillus fumigatus, is highly pathogenic, and it kills immunocompromised people, but it's not all the genes are characterized yet, and so you can do a literature search and find a gene that's similar to one in Aspergillus fumigatus in a yeast or something else, and then you can make a hypothesis based off of what the gene in that other yeast or whatever is doing, and then hypothesize, oh, maybe this is what's going on in my fungus, and then come up with experiments to prove it. And so doing the literature search was really helpful with coming up for a model that I came up with in my conclusion. On Monday, I'm going to, right after graduation, I'm going to start working in the lab again, and I've really liked it, and I want to try and get published, and so I'll work there until August 15th and do some final experiments, and then I'm moving down to Boston to work at Mass General Hospital with a Dartmouth alum who is an orthopedic surgeon, and I'll be doing research with him because I am pre-med and ultimately want to go to medical school.